Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhava, Kunjali
Caitanya Vallabha, Friday Night Gita, last Friday Night Gita of 2018, Thank you for your enthusiastic chanting and dancing. Okay, so hopefully that's cleared away a few cobwebs. Actually, this is the process. By hearing and chanting, we become purified, and the more we become purified, the more we can understand this philosophy, and it goes into the heart. So, we're going to read from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, text 8. So while we're just passing these around, we're going to recite the invocation. So if everyone can repeat after me.
Thank you, Guru.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Tonight we are blessed to be reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 12, entitled Devotional Service. And we're going to read from text 8 tonight. It's on page 621 in this book. Okay, so we'll go through the Sanskrit. My Eva Mana Adatsva. My Eva Mana Adatsva. My Eva Mana Adatsva. My Buddhim Nivishaya. My Buddhim Niveshaya. Mai Buddhim Niveshaya. Nivashishasi. Mai Eva. Nivashishasi Mai Eva. Nivashishasi Mai Eva. Ata Urdvam Na Samshaya. Ata Urdvam Na Samshaya. Ata Urdvam Na Samshaya. Okay. My Eva Mana Adatsva. My Buddhim Niveshaya. Nivashishyasi My Eva. Ata Urdvam Na Samshaya. My Eva Mana Adatsva. Mayi Buddhim Niveshaya. Nivashishasi My Eva. Ata Urdvam Na Samshaya. So we'll go through the word for word. Mayi, upon me. Eva, certainly. Mana, mind. Adatsva, fix. Mayi, upon me. Buddhim, intelligence. Niveshaya, apply. Nivashishyasi, you will live. Mayi, in me. Eva, certainly. Ata Urdvam, thereafter. Na, never. Samshaya, doubt. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. Please repeat. Just fix your mind upon me.
Just fix your mind upon me,
The Supreme Personality of Godhead.
the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
And engage all your intelligence in me.
and engage all your intelligence in me.
Thus you will live in me always,
Thus you will live in me always,
without a doubt.
without a doubt.
Okay. One who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane. He lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so, although this is a process recommended in the Bhagavad Gita and in other Vedic literatures. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Caitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasari Gauda Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. So, we're going to start with a story. So when Srila Prabhupada was physically present with us, then Srila Prabhupada would visit our different centres. He would kind of go on a round the world trip. And at that time we had about 108 different centres around the world. And Srila Prabhupada was one man, so he would go and visit each centre maybe once a year. Some centres Prabhupada went to every couple of years or. So not every single devotee had the opportunity to have that much association with Srila Prabhupada. I was listening to a podcast by His Grace Kripa Moya Prabhu this morning, and he was saying that he only personally had association with Srila Prabhupada about 7 or 8 times. But Srila Prabhupada, he said himself, because Srila Prabhupada also only associated with his spiritual master at most maybe 10 times, something like that, not very many times. But Prabhupada said that the spiritual master, he said he lives forever by his divine instructions and the follower lives with him. So there's two things. One is to have the physical association of the spiritual master, that's called the Vapu, and then there's the instructions of the spiritual master, which are called the Vani. So of the two, the more important is the Vani, the instructions, because the Vani is eternal. The instructions will always be there. The physical body or the physical association may only be there sometime, and maybe you don't have that much opportunity to associate with the spiritual master. The two things complement each other. When you have the physical association with the spiritual master, then you become inspired to follow his instructions. And similarly, when you follow the instructions of the spiritual master, then you feel inspired in his presence. But of the two, the main thing is the Vani, the instructions of the spiritual master. So therefore, when Srila Prabhupada did visit a centre, then the devotees were really eager to kind of soak up as much nectar as they could. So once, as Srila Prabhupada was leaving one of the centres, one devotee, Srila Prabhupada was just getting into the car, and this devotee came racing through. Srila Prabhupada, how can I become a pure devotee? He asked. How can I become a pure devotee? And then Srila Prabhupada paused for a moment and he gave a one-word answer. Do you know what that word was? Well, chant, that would be a good one. It wasn't chant. It was desire. Yeah. How can I become a pure devotee? Desire. It's all based upon our desire. So Srila Prabhupada, he could give these, say so much even in just one word. In the Caitanya Charitamrita it says that true eloquence is truth spoken concisely. Like often when I give a class, actually all the time when I give a class I just go on and on and on and on. But Srila Prabhupada could give so much with just one word, desire. It's all based upon our desire. So if you change your desire, then you can change your destiny. Just simply by changing your desire, you can change your destiny. like they say, where there's a will, there's a way. If you have a will, if you're willing to become Krishna conscious, there's nothing that can stop you. Who can stop you? Just like Srila Prabhupada one time, one reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, so, does God come to this material world? Srila Prabhupada said, who can stop him? If Krishna wants to come, he will come. Where there's a will, there's a way. So it's all based upon our desire. So Srila Prabhupada said that you can be Krishna conscious in a moment. It's actually just based on your desire. There's one story of one great king called Maharaj Caitanya. This is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he was a powerful warrior, a kshatriya. So the demigods, they were having a war, they were having a battle with the demons. This is always going on. In the pages of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's always some fighting between the demigods and the demons. So the demigods, they came to earth. They came to India and they found Maharaj Caitanya because they knew he was a powerful general. So this Maharaj Caitanya, he fought very valiantly for the demigods. And then they won, after they'd been fighting for a long time. So then the demigods, they said to Maharaj Caitanya, we're so pleased with your fighting prowess, we would like to give you a boon. We'd like to give you a benediction. Ask from us any benediction you would like. So Maharaj Caitanya, he said, I want to be liberated and serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the demigods said, well, sorry, we can't grant that. Ask for something else. And he said, okay. He said, I would like to know how much longer I have to live. And they said, they did a calculation. They got out their, iPad and, Actually, you have 24 minutes left to live. What would you do if you had 24 minutes left to live? We may say one thing, but we might do another thing if we actually did have only 24 minutes left to live. So he said to them, immediately, he said, take me back to the Earth planet. And that took another 12 minutes. So he got back down and he had 12 minutes and he sat down in meditation upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he became Krishna conscious in a moment. And then he went back home, back to Godhead. So this is the example that's given, that actually one can become Krishna conscious in a moment, simply based on desire. Now, some of us sitting here may have been practicing Krishna consciousness for some time, some years, and we're thinking, yeah, it sounds all very well, but I haven't achieved it yet. So then at other times, Srila Prabhupada would say, it's a process, it takes some time. One devotee, Narayan Prabhu, in the early days of the movement, he was chanting his japa in the temple room, and then he suddenly, again, he wanted to know, can I become a pure devotee? So he went up to Srila Prabhupada's rooms, and Prabhupada was walking up and down, pacing up and down, chanting his japa, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then Narayan Prabhu knocked on the door and said, Srila Prabhupada, I just want to know, is it possible, can I become a pure devotee? And Srila Prabhupada was chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then he said, he turned around and he faced him. And he said, yes, why not? And then he carried on chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. And then he said, but it may take some time. So it's important to be patient in devotional service. There's one famous verse, one important verse in the Nectar of Instruction, Utsahan Nischayat Daryat, Tat Tat Karma Pravartanat, Sangha Chagat Satovrati, Shabdi, what's the last line? Procedurity. And it says that one should be enthusiastic. To engage in devotional service, one should be enthusiastic, one should be confident, and one should be patient. So Srila Prabhupada gave the example of just like a lady, when she gets married, she may want to have a child, and she may be impatient to have a child. But she has to wait, at least she has to wait 9 months. But she can be confident that she has her husband, thank you, Prabhu. She has her husband, so she can be confident that a baby will be there at some point. But she has to be a little bit patient. So in the same way in Krishna consciousness, we have confidence in the process. We see others that have been following the process nicely and are making progress. So we have to be enthusiastic in our execution of devotional service. And we can be confident of success if we follow the process nicely, but we have to be patient. Just like an electric fan, it's running, on full speed, and if you unplug the fan, it'll still continue to spin for some time. So in the same way, when we take to Krishna consciousness, we may find that we're still affected by material tendencies, desires, attachments. But we should know that if we've disconnected, we've taken the plug out, it may continue to spin for some time, but if we just carry on with the process, we have a little bit of patience, we will feel ourselves making progress in devotional service. It's tangible. You can feel yourself getting more of a taste for Krishna consciousness and losing the taste for material activities and enjoyment. So the point is that it may take some time. And I was making some notes for the class this morning. Let me just have a quick glance at my notes. Yeah. So we can be Krishna conscious in a moment, but generally the process is that it takes some time. In the Brahma Samhita it says that we make gradual progress in devotional service and spiritual life. We make, small steps. Every now and again we can make a great leap forward on special days like Ekadashi and Janmashtami. We can take a quantum leap forward, but generally the process is that it takes some time. I remember when I joined the Hare Krishna movement, I thought I was going to be a pure devotee within, a few weeks or something like that,
You are.
And I was thinking I was like a great soul, I was thinking I was a young boy, I was 20 years old, and I was thinking I must be a great soul, but because, I'm only 20 years old and I've realised that this is the supreme goal of life, to become Krishna conscious. I've renounced what everyone else is doing, enjoying their senses, and I've surrendered to Krishna. I was thinking ISKCON, is pretty lucky to have me. I'm a great soul, I must just be carrying on from a previous lifetime. I was thinking like this, I must be a great sage, And then after some time, it starts to dawn on you that actually, no, ISKCON's not lucky to have me, I'm lucky to have ISKCON. And I'm lucky to have the association of devotees. And I'm not a great soul. I'm just fortunate that I've come into contact with Srila Prabhupada's books. I'm fortunate that I've come across the holy name. Somehow or another, who knows how, but it's described that Lord Caitanya, he casts a web all across the earth that no one can escape from. So somehow or another I just got caught up in that web, and the devotees rescued me. And we realise after some time, okay, I may not be a pure devotee overnight. It may take some time, but if I just follow the process with enthusiasm and confidence and patience, I will get there. And we can make ourselves feel in tangible progress also. If we want to be a pure devotee, that may be over there somewhere. But it's not that you make a giant leap from here to there. It means that each step, Confucius, I think, said that every long journey starts with the first step. So in Krishna consciousness, we always need to know what's our next step forward. And you can ask someone else who's a bit further along the path than yourself, or than ourselves. Like when you're going up a mountain. Not that I've ever been up a mountain. However, they do it, they're all kind of joined together, and you walk in the footsteps of the person in front because you know that's safe. So like this. Now sometimes also, we have a tendency to think it's all or nothing in Krishna consciousness. Either I just want to be completely Krishna conscious, or I won't do it at all. If we're a little extreme or sometimes fanatical. It's all or nothing. I have that tendency a little bit sometimes. Like when I set myself a new Saturday program, okay, I'm going to get up every day at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to chant 16 rounds straight away, then an hour's Bhagavatam, then I'm going to listen to a lecture, and then I'm going to learn some slokas, and that's going to be my program every day from now on in. And then you do it the first day, and you do it the second day, and then the third day you don't get out of bed. You know, you hit the snooze button on the alarm, and then you think, oh, that's it, I just can't do it. There's no point, I won't even try, you know. All or nothing. But the point is that Krishna, he's not so fanatical. Krishna's not so extreme. Krishna gives us a process. He says, if you can't do this, then do this. If you can't do this, then do this. So everyone can always do something. Everyone can always find out what's the next step. So these verses that we're studying tonight, verse 8, is a series of verses between verse 8 and verse 12. And we're going to be doing these different verses over the next few weeks. So we're just going to read now 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So verse 8, Krishna's setting the bar high. Krishna says, just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. So just fix your mind upon me. Engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always. So who's ever tried to fix their mind upon Krishna? Here, put your hand up if you ever tried to fix your mind upon Krishna. Is it easy to always just fix your mind upon Krishna, or does the mind wander? Yeah, always. One time Srila Prabhupada asked one of his disciples, Giriraj Maharaj, who was Giriraj Das Brahmachari at the time, he said, so Giriraj, is everything okay? How are you? Are you happy in your Krishna consciousness? He said, oh yes, Srila Prabhupada, I'm very happy. He said, but you know, Srila Prabhupada, sometimes I fall into Maya. And Srila Prabhupada pointed at him and said, you are always in Maya, sometimes you fall into Krishna. So it's not so easy to fix the mind upon Krishna all the time. It's not so easy at all. So then you might become discouraged. But what does Krishna say in the next verse? Let's read it, number 9. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. So what are the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga? Chanting Hare Krishna, reading Bhagavad Gita, taking prasadam, associating with devotees, engaging in devotional service. So by engaging in devotional service, by following these principles of Bhakti Yoga, we develop a desire to attain Him. But if you can't even do that, if you can't follow any of the regulative principles, what does Krishna say in the next verse? He says, if you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. So just try to do some service for Krishna. If you can't follow any of the principles, just try and do something for Krishna. When you come to the temple, pick up the mats and put them back, Try and serve some prasadam, sweep the floor, mop the floor, do something. Just work for Krishna. Because by doing that, then you'll develop a desire to follow the regulative principles. But if you can't even do that, Krishna says, if, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. So give up the results of your work. So you're working, so you're earning some money, so give some donations to Krishna. Give up the results of your work. And if you can't even do that, Krishna says, if you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. And better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. So these verses are really encouraging, because really it doesn't give us any excuse. Okay, we may not be able to fix our mind upon Krishna all the time without deviation, so just try and follow the regulations of Bhakti Yoga. If you can't do that, then just try to work for Krishna. If you can't do that, cultivate knowledge, meditation. So there's always something. In other words, what's the next step? We should always be going forward in Krishna consciousness. Because if we're not going forward in Krishna consciousness, the age that we're living in right now is Kali Yuga. It's a very materialistic age. So it's a bit like being on an escalator. If you've ever been on an escalator, if you've ever tried to run up an escalator that's going down, has anyone ever tried to run up an escalator that's going down? You have to put in a lot of effort. So it's a bit like that. Trying to make spiritual advancement in this age, it's like running up an escalator. If you just rest for a moment, you don't stay where you are, you go backwards. Because Kali Yuga is advancing all the time. People are becoming more and more materialistic and less spiritually inclined. So don't take your eye off the goal. And not only that, if you've ever been to London during the rush hour in the tube, everyone else is running down the escalator. The escalator's going down, but people don't just stand on it, they're running down as well. So you're trying to run up it, and they're running down. So if you take your mind off the goal, you get knocked down and you get carried down with everyone else. So we always have to be going forward in Krishna consciousness. What's my next step? So these series of verses tell us what's the next step. And we can ask the devotees, what should I be doing? I'm doing this now, what should I be aiming for? Like this. But this is the essence of Krishna consciousness, just to fix the mind upon Krishna. There's one nice verse, Smarta Vyasitatam Vishnu, Vishmatavyu, Najantu Chittasavi Vidhi Nisheda Shur, Etya Eva Kinkara. So it says that all the rules and the regulations of the scriptures are to serve two basic principles. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. This is the essence of Krishna consciousness. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. But, again, this takes practice. Practice makes perfect. Like we said, Prabhupada said, we're always in Maya, sometimes we fall into Krishna. So we have to practice remembering Krishna. And the best way to remember Krishna is to hear about Krishna and to chant about Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we shouldn't be surprised if it takes some time. You know, we've been in this, and well, let's ask, why does it take some time to be able to fix our mind upon Krishna? Can we have some suggestions? Why do we think it takes time? Prema,
we are busy with other things.
Yeah, we're definitely busy with other things. I don't have time for Krishna consciousness. I don't have time to chant my rounds. I've got to make breakfast and go to work, you know. I don't have time, I've got to be here, yeah. So we don't have time, we're busy with other things. Why else?
The mind is too strong.
The mind is too strong, yeah. Even when we're trying to fix the mind upon Krishna, the mind is like, it's crazy, you know? It's thinking about everything else. Yeah, the mind is too strong. Why else might it take some time?
Because we're not really accustomed to spiritual practices. We're more accustomed to material.
Yeah. We're not accustomed, we're habituated to materialistic activities. We're not habituated to spiritual activities. They say if you want to form a good habit, it takes 21 days to form a habit. That's what, you know, psychologists and modern day gurus, they say, you know, if you want to do anything, if you want to get rid of your bad habits, the way you get rid of bad habits is by forming good habits. And if you do that thing for 21 days, then you get into a good habit. Yeah, we're not accustomed. Why else might it take some time?
Unaware of the importance of it.
Yeah, we're unaware of the importance. We don't even think it's that important, you know. You know, like for instance, we don't know, like we said, Maharaj Caitanya, he became Krishna conscious in a moment. Why? Because he found out he had 24 minutes to live. But we could die in the next 6 minutes. Don't want to be macabre or, you know, morbid, but it's a fact. Who can say they're not going to die in the next 6 minutes? Can anyone say?
Take a guess.
No one can say. We don't know how long we've got. Maharaj Parikshit knew he had 7 days to live. We don't know we've got 7 minutes to live. But if we knew we had 7 minutes to live, we would suddenly understand the importance. Yeah, we don't understand the importance of it. We think I can become Krishna conscious when I get older. But what is an old person? An old person means someone who's about to die. We could die right now. So if I die in a moment, that means I'm old right now. Yeah, so we don't understand the importance. Why else might it take some time?
Because very few other people are doing it, so we don't get encouragement from outside.
Yeah, everyone else is doing something different. Like we said, everyone else is running down the escalator. And we're trying to run up it. And you need encouragement. It's hard to do it on your own. You cannot become Krishna conscious on your own. The most important principle in Krishna consciousness is association. Krishna says, Sanjayate Karma. Our desires develop according to our association. I remember when I started associating with devotees, I became inspired to do what they were doing. You know, they were doing certain things, so I did the same thing. They were having cold showers in the morning. So because I was associating with them, I got to develop the desire to do that also, so I started having cold showers. We're not saying you have to do that. But at that particular time when I was living in the temple, certainly when you're waking up early in the morning, you know, 3:30 or whatever, you know, you're a bit sleepy. When you have a cold shower, that definitely wakes you up. But the point is that when you associate with devotees, you develop desire to become a devotee also. So yeah, but there's not always that type of association.
I think you don't reap the benefit as soon as you... It's a slow process.
Yeah, it's a slow process, yeah. And what I read, which actually made me think, Srila Prabhupada says, you know, in the verse that we're doing, number 8, in the purport, Prabhupada begins, he says, one who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So devotional service is about developing a direct relationship with Krishna. Doesn't it take some time to develop a relationship? It takes time, doesn't it? I've been here in Newcastle now for 5 years, you know, and it's taken me some time to develop relationships, you know. And the more I've been here, the more I've associated with devotees, my relationships are becoming deeper. It takes time to develop a relationship with your spouse. I've been married now for 4 years, but every day I'm learning new things. I'm learning new things about what I should do, what pleases my wife, and what displeases her. And she makes that known to me. Just like I make it known to her which things please me and which things don't please me. We have to learn, it takes time. So we've forgotten Krishna for millions of lifetimes. We've been here in the material world trying to enjoy separately from Krishna. We don't want to know anything about Krishna. So wouldn't it take some time to re-establish that relationship? Yes, we've got to give it time. And we have to be personal with Krishna. Find out what he likes. Try and do things to please him. Try and find out about him. You know, we give the example, if you want to love someone, I can't just say to, okay, if I say to Cami, love this boy. Well, who is he? It doesn't matter who he is, just love him. Well, what's his name? It doesn't matter what his name is, just love him. What does he look like? Don't worry about that. Just love him. Where does he live? It's okay. These things aren't important. What does he like to do? What does he wear? You know, what does he like to do on the weekends? Don't worry, these things aren't important. No, they are. If you want to develop love for someone, if you want to develop a relationship, you've got to know all about them. So Krishna tells us all about himself in the Bhagavad Gita. We don't need to speculate. It's all right there in black and white. It's as it's as clear as the sun. So that's another reason why it takes some time, because it's about developing a relationship with Krishna. It takes some time. Now we have an eternal relationship with Krishna, and that's true. You know, it's not that we're completely starting a relationship afresh, but we've kind of forgotten. You know, that original consciousness, Krishna consciousness, is there within the heart, but it needs to be reawakened. So the more we hear about Krishna, the more we chant Krishna's holy name, we associate with devotees, the more that relationship with Krishna becomes revealed to us. It becomes, and we realise that we're actually in a relationship with Krishna. Krishna reveals himself to us. The more we engage, that means that the more we surrender to Krishna, the more he reciprocates with us. That much we do for Krishna, that much he'll reveal himself to us. Actually, it's said that if we take one step towards Krishna, he takes 1,000 steps towards us, because he wants us to come back to him. It's just ourselves, we're so stubborn, we don't want to go back to him. We want to stay here in the material world and enjoy ourselves. Now, an interesting thing with this purport, right? Prabhupada, Krishna is setting the bar high. He's saying, fix your mind upon me always. Engage all your intelligence in me. And Prabhupada stresses two things in the purport. Did anyone pick up what those two things are?
Chanting and taking prasadam.
Chanting Hare Krishna and taking prasadam.
The prasadam is dancing on your tongue.
Yeah, when you're chanting Hare Krishna, Prabhupada said, well, it's a verse actually, that Krishna is directly dancing on your tongue. So isn't that interesting? That Prabhupada's talking about how to come to the highest stage, and he mentions two things: chanting Hare Krishna and taking prasadam. Actually, there's a very nice verse. Atashi Krishna namadi na bhavat kriyam indriye sevan mukhe hijiva do swayameva sparajada. So it means that one cannot understand Krishna with one's blunt material senses. But when one's senses become spiritually saturated, or Prabhupada used the word Krishna-ized, when your senses become Krishna-ized, by engaging them in devotional service, we engage our senses in the service of Krishna, beginning with the tongue. Jivado means the tongue. So we engage our senses in the service of Krishna, beginning with the tongue. So the tongue has two functions. One is to vibrate sounds, and the other one is to taste food. So if you just do these two simple things, you vibrate Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and you taste prasadam, then Swayameva Sparachada. That means Krishna automatically becomes manifest. Krishna reveals himself by just doing these two things. The holy name and the Lord are non-different, Prabhupada said. The name, Krishna and his name, are one and the same. And we've probably all had our own experience. Because we can hear these things, theoretically. We've heard that before, right? Krishna and his name are non-different. And we can hear the philosophy. That's called Gyan, theoretical knowledge. But actually, if we really want to make advancement in spiritual life, we need to get Vigyan, realized knowledge. We have to get our own experience. Perhaps yourselves, when we were having kirtan, you all got up to start dancing. Why? Because you can experience that Krishna is in his name. It's not a material sound vibration, chanting Hare Krishna. I'm sure we've all experienced that. I remember the very first time I chanted Hare Krishna. I'd been reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and it kept saying in the books, chant Hare Krishna. And I didn't know exactly what it meant to chant Hare Krishna, but I just thought, well, I'm just going to give it a try. So I was in the woods, and it's a long story, but I was in the woods, and I was on my own, and I just started chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. And I just started dancing. I was on the woods on my own, and I was chanting, and I just started feeling really like I'd never felt before, actually. I totally felt completely alive and electrified in my mind. I was like so happy, and I just started dancing, just for about 10 minutes. I was like in some kind of ecstasy. I have to say, it's never been like that again since. But that was my first contact with Krishna, maybe for millions of lifetimes. And I could feel that, wow, this isn't a material sound. There's something in this. Krishna and his name are one and the same. I remember another time in an ecstatic kirtan up at the temple in Scotland. I was there. We were having a kirtan. We were worshipping these shalagram shilas, these deities of Krishna. And kirtan was so ecstatic, and I was just jumping up and down. And one devotee came up to me afterwards, and I was beaming, and he said, "Wow!" He said, "You look like you've seen God." And I was like, "I think I have." It was amazing. And this year, at the 24-hour kirtan in Birmingham, one devotee, Satyanandan Swami, he sang this melody, and it came to the third part of the melody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And it was so ecstatic. Literally, the whole room just got up and started dancing, right? Cammy, you were there. It was like everyone was like swept up in this ecstasy. It was like, wow. It was like I had a realization that this is it. There's nothing else but Krishna and his holy name. And prasadam. I remember the first time I made prasadam. I offered it to Krishna. I got a potato and I put it in the microwave. I put a jacket potato in the microwave, just on a plate like this, and then I got a bit of salad, some lettuce and cucumber and tomato, and I put it in front of a picture of Krishna, in front of a book that had the higher taste. And I put this jacket potato in front of a picture of Krishna, and I said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And I said, my dear Lord Krishna, please accept this simple offering. And I tell you what, that was, when I took that jacket potato, that was like no jacket potato I'd ever had before. That was a jacket potato that had come directly from the spiritual world. I kid you not. And I just ate it on that same plate. Usually we have a plate that we keep separate for Krishna. And we do some elaborate prayers. But all I said was, Hare Krishna, please accept this offering. But because I tried to do it to the best of my ability, I made that jacket potato for Krishna. And I tell you, Krishna accepted that jacket potato. Because I tasted it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. It was the best I could do at that time. Of course, later on I learned the proper prayers and a more elaborate procedure. But in the beginning, that was all I could do, and it was amazing. And I remember another time, I don't remember the very first time I took prasadam, but I remember one time, very early on in my spiritual life, when I took prasadam. It was the first day I went out on book distribution in Liverpool. The devotees had invited me to come up to the temple in Scotland. And they said, before you come to the temple, would you like to come out on book distribution? I said, yeah, that sounds good. So he rang me up in the morning, Ramanandapur, he said, before you come out on book distribution, you have to chant 16 rounds. And I was like, my God, I haven't chanted one round. I'd bought a set of beads the first time I went to the temple, but they were just hanging up in my room. It was like, these are my beads, my sacred beads. There they are, that's my beads. But I hadn't gotten them out of the bag. It was just like, there they are. Like in a museum, like an exhibit, my beads. So he said, but you've got to chant 16 rounds. So I said, okay, well, I'll chant 16 rounds. So I chanted 16 rounds, and then I got to the temple. And then, some of the devotees had already gone out on book distribution. So one devotee said, well, one of the devotees, Radhakanaka, he's cooked some extra prasadam for you this morning. And it's here in a Tupperware container. It was kitchery, cold kitchery and puris. And I tell you what, when I ate that kitchery, it was like a mystical experience. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. It was like, it was out of this world. Cold kitchery. If someone said to you tonight, what's your prasadam type? Cold kitchery. You might not be feeling so ecstatic. Oh God, I'll go home and have something myself. Cold kitchery. But it was amazing. Because it was prasadam. It was spiritual. I became Krishnaized by eating it. Sometimes after a while, after some time of practicing Krishna consciousness, we take things for granted. We forget that this is prasadam. Krishna and his name are non-different. But if we realize these two things and we just simply engage ourselves, then we realize that actually Krishna and his name are non-different. Prasadam and Krishna are non-different. We become Krishnaized by doing these things. But Prabhupada says at the end of the purport, and this is an interesting thing, Prabhupada says, one who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so. So unless you try it for yourself, you'll never know. I can tell you that, that I chanted Hare Krishna and I was ecstatic and I offered a potato to Krishna in the microwave. And you went, what does? I don't believe that, But try it for yourself. Let's try it for ourselves. So, and that's what Krishna says actually at the end of the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, we'll come on to that in a minute. But the point is that, for instance, if you have a book of equations, 100 equations, someone can say, well, I don't believe in that, and you can say, well, try it for yourself. So you try the first equation, hydrogen plus oxygen equals water. You make the experiment and you get a result. And by that result, it increases your faith. So you think, well, perhaps the other 99, I don't know about the other 99 equations, but I'll try number 2. And then you try that one, and you get a result. And therefore your faith increases. So the more you follow, your faith increases more. And the more you put your faith in Krishna, the more Krishna reciprocates and reveals him. So therefore I came up with a motto earlier, or a slogan. Make an experiment, get an experience. So Krishna consciousness is like that. You make the experiment, you try it. And when you try it, you get an experience. Make an experiment, get an experience. Just try it. Wake up tomorrow and just say, I'm going to be 100% Krishna conscious today. I'm not going to think of anything else but Krishna. Make an experiment. Get an experience. Come back next week and tell us. Not next week, because we're not having the program next Friday. The Friday after. Try it. Come back and tell us what happened. You know, it's like it's exciting. It's an adventure. Krishna consciousness. You don't know what's going to happen. Make an experiment. Get an experience. So it's up to us. That's what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna's just spoken the whole Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And he's not forcing us, right? But he says to Arjuna in 1863, he says, thus I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do. So Krishna's saying it's up to you. I've given you all this knowledge. I've explained everything. Now it's up to you. So make an experiment, get an experience. So we're going to stop there. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,